I have an article here from thatparkplace.com. Bloomberg reporter claims Sweet Baby Incorporated boycott that crushed Suicide Squad, killed the Justice League sales is, quote, angry hallucinations created by grifters, unquote. You have one guess who it is. Jason Schreier, noted shit stain. He recently published an article for Bloomberg claiming to reveal inside details about the failure of Suicide Squad. He claims that the game's $200 million failure is due to a constantly shifting vision, a culture of rigid perfectionism, and a genre pivot that was ill-suited for the studio. He also noted the game was plagued by countless delays. However, he makes no mention of the Sweet Baby Incorporated Detected Steam curator list created by Brazilian gamer Cabrutus Rambo that has nearly 400,000 followers. They talk about that Suicide Squad was the first game added to the list. Sweet Baby's involvement in the game was a major problem for many gamers. The YouTuber Indemian, who has nearly 250,000 subs, noting that writer Amy Lee Shaw and Sweet Baby Incorporated ruined the game. Of course they did. It was, a shit game. It was a bad game. And there were a lot of shills out for it, but it was just a bad game. Anyway, but a couple people called him out, asked him about, not one mention of the woke tone turning off fans or SBI influence. Really, Jason? This article is about what actually happened. Now, the thing is, which I'm glad they have this picture here, because Shears had me blocked for a couple years since I called him out for basically knowing about the abuses that was going on in Activision, but not saying anything to further his own career. And not to say that, not to make it sound like I called him out. I mean, there was tons of people calling him out for it. He was blocking everybody because he's a thin-skinned little bitch. He's a little, he's a little piece of shit. Basically, is what he is. I can't stand the guy. He thinks he's fucking right. This article's about what actually happened. Bullshit. It's like I'm not gonna trust a guy who lies or covers up abuses, sexual harassment, sexual abuse, alleged rape, and things of that nature to further your own goddamn career. I'm not going to take anything that you say seriously. It's ridiculous. But anyway, so the guy continued, right? So it didn't have any effect on development behind the scenes, hiring practices, or turning off millions of fans. You not remember this game is what kicked off the SBI drama to begin with. To not even mention its negligent, absent journalism, dishonestly so. I asked 24 people who worked in the game what went wrong, and not a single one mentioned the word sweet baby. You are chasing angry hallucinations created by grifters who make money off your rage. And of course, it's fucking pathetic because, it's Twitter, X, whatever, any kind of social media. You're going to get a whole shit ton of people, clapping like seals. Like that tweet got 10,000 plus likes. That horse shit. Now, I don't want to make it sound like the whole sweet baby stuff or the whole DEI wokeness or whatever is the entire reason that Suicide Squad failed. It's far from the only reason. Hell, I did a video about a screenshot that had leaked out, and you couldn't even tell what the hell was going on the screen. It was ridiculous. Every character shot a gun, even the ones that didn't make any sense for them to carry weapons. It was just stupid. The story was dumb. It was just ridiculous. There's a litany of reasons as to what the problem was with this stuff, but whatever. And it continues on. Last thing I'll say on this topic, the premise and story of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League were the vision of Sefton Hill, director of the Arkham trilogy. Anyone who tells you that Sweet Baby made them kill Batman or do anything else is lying. Period. Okay, you can't prove that. You can't disprove it. So it's just I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to take Jason Shearer's word for it, or I'm going to take the word of Sefton Hill. Has he come out and said that this was all my, this is all my doing. He hasn't said one thing about, and as far as I know, he hasn't said one thing one way or the other. Which, number one, he probably wants to keep his game or his job in games, and he knows that if he doesn't follow protocol, he's probably going to be blackballed. Because there's already been other developers who have been blackballed, not just in video games, but elsewhere. If you don't spread the message, if you don't spread the narrative, they're not going to like you. They're not going to, they're not going to, keep hiring you. They're not going to employ you, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, in the article, I'll link this in the description box. You can read it for yourself. I basically covered the whole thing, but it's just shit stain here. It's anything that Jason Shearer is involved in, I automatically dislike. It's like, fuck you, dude. You're a piece of shit. You put your own career above the well-being and the safety of other people. And I don't want to, go too far with it and say he's responsible or anything. Of course not. That'd be ridiculous to say. But he is responsible for his hand and not doing anything about it. And he tried to hide behind the whole, I can't just make up stuff. I thoroughly researched, blah, 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 which hasn't stopped him from, presenting horse shit before about made up crap and everything. I mean, hell, that's the same son of a bitch who did an entire article on Kotaku about there was a new dev studio that was somewhere in Europe. I'm trying to remember where. I think it was around Norway, Sweden, something like that. There was like 40 dudes. They were all white men, and of course he's got to make some little shitty comment about it and stuff. Try to make an entire like blog post about it as if it's somehow some kind of pressing issue. But if it was all black people or all black women, black men and women or whatever, he'd be seal clapping about the diversity. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm starting to ramble here. I can't stand this fucking Jason Shearer guy. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Like I said, I'll link this in the description box. You can read it for yourself. But thank you very much for watching and have a good one.